So you're thinking about relocating here to the Boise, Idaho area, and you're a little conflicted. Do you want new construction or do you want resale, i.e. old or at least older construction? Well, in today's video, we are going to dive into both the pros and cons and the differences that you should know about both. Whether you think you want to go with new construction or that you would rather go the pre-existing resale route, today we are going to get after everything you need to know about both. And please be sure to stick around till the end of the video for a sneak peek of several top new construction communities that we are currently helping our clients purchase and or build in, because, well, seeing these communities on the ground can certainly be helpful if you're considering going with new construction. And then if there are any new communities that you're particularly curious about, whether they are in Boise, Meridian, Star, or Eagle, or really any of the Treasure Valley cities, please post a comment below or shoot us a text or give us a call and we would be happy to fill you in. So let's break this all down right now. First up, let's talk money. When it comes to cost, in Boise's current housing market, resale homes often come at lower price points compared to similarly sized, newly built homes. However, don't forget to factor in potential renovation costs that can come with older resale homes. So while your new home might come at a higher price point, well, it will also be significantly less likely that you'll be dealing with any immediate repair or renovation expenses. So you won't have to worry about replacing a roof or having your HVAC unit go out in the middle of summer, because that's when it always happens, or any of those other high price fixes and updates that really just naturally come with long-term home ownership. So that can certainly help. And please keep in mind that with new homes, you will most likely be getting a 1-year home warranty, with some builders actually even now currently offering 3 to 5 year home warranties. Across the board though, in our local market, 1-year warranties are pretty much standard. So having that warranty can certainly save you some money, as well as provide some much needed peace of mind. And who are we kidding? It's an election year, right? So peace of mind is something that we are all in need of.
It's one less thing to worry about.
Another thing to keep in mind about buying a resale pre-existing home in comparison to new construction is that sometimes negotiations with resale can actually be a little bit broader because, well, most homeowners, unlike builders, do not have a hard set margin that they have to hit because, yeah, builders are running a business. So that can actually work in your favor with resale. On the flip side of that though, when you are working with resale homes and if you're wanting to put in an offer lower than the asking price, well, you do have to ensure that you and your agent tread carefully and don't risk offending the homeowner by offering too low of a price. Because let me tell you, yeah, people are almost always emotionally attached to their primary homes, even those that they're selling. And fair enough, right? Homes are really where we build our lives. As cheesy as the old adage goes, home is where the heart is, right? And then yeah, add to that they are also typically the biggest financial transactions we ever make. So yeah, a lot of emotions can be and often are involved. And you certainly don't want to offend the homeowner with what they consider a lowball offer and cause them just to freeze up and move on ultimately without even countering. Whereas with builders, it is their business and they want to make deals work. And that's typically true even if your initial offer is lower than they're willing to go, unless they receive a better offer at the same time, of course, and one that they accept. Well, unless that happens, they will almost always counter your offer and we can move forward to make a deal happen. And the difference here really comes down to that for the builder, it's not an emotional experience like it can be when you're trying to negotiate with a primary homeowner who is emotionally tied to the house. But then on the flip side, for the builders here who have inventory higher than they'd prefer, well, then those builders are more likely to be open to giving you a great deal because, well, they are paying construction loans and the sooner they get out from under those, the better for their bottom line. So for this one, when it comes to negotiations, both can have their pros and cons. It really all comes down to the unique situation and builder and or the primary homeowner who you were trying to negotiate and buy from. And then of course, your agent and how skilled they are when it comes to the negotiation process is of course certainly a large factor.
Well, I'm only the best because I work with the best.
Next, let's talk about customization. And this is an area that many people who call us up hoping to go with new construction are surprised to hear. Buying new no longer means you will always have customization options. After the boom we saw several years ago, many builders changed up their building process and customization options, and many quite significantly. That fast and furious pace of the market really pushed many builders to spec homes. So now the majority of new construction, especially in the master plan communities, are largely spec'd and or semi-custom homes, with a heavy emphasis here on semi, with semi meaning half or partial or slightly. So yeah, with semi-custom, the options you have will be limited. Many widely recognized teams such as Toll Brothers, Tresidio, and Boise Hunter Homes have gone almost entirely semi-custom. But when it comes down to it, their quote-unquote semi-customization options, their quote-unquote semi-customization options, even if you are involved in the building process from lot selection, are typically more limited than most initially expect, which, while on the flip side, for some people can actually be beneficial to them in the long run, as it can help some buyers avoid the dreaded decision fatigue, which, let me tell you, is a real thing.
Sorry, Jay. Too many choices is a prison.
Now let's zoom out and talk about location and neighborhood. When it comes to resale pre-existing homes, you're oftentimes buying in well-established communities with mature trees, amenities, and just a solid sense of history. On the other hand, new developments, while they might offer an incredible array of modern amenities and a fresh start, well, sometimes they really can lack the charm and character that older neighborhoods can provide. In general, when it comes to the landscaping and overall vibe and feel of new developments, well, many of them just seem to kind of have that plucked chicken look, which will really remain the case until everything has had a chance to grow and fill in. We have had quite a number of people considering moving to Idaho's Treasure Valley who come to visit the Boise area with the idea that they really only want new construction. But once we also tour them through some more well-established areas, say through Two Rivers or Brookwood out in Eagle, or maybe through the historic district in downtown Boise, so along Harrison Boulevard or Warm Springs Avenue, or even through Caldwell's historic district, which is one that is very often overlooked, well, very quickly, some determine that the well-established look and feel are just much more to their liking. Ultimately, it really just comes down to personal preference and taste.
Can I say? I likes what I likes.
On this note, it is also important to consider how much construction is still happening and is slated for the future in new communities. While some builders do a great job building in set areas before moving on to other areas, well, some other builders here in our local market allow people to select any lot in the development, which might, in theory, sound fantastic. But keep in mind that if the development is one that is going to see ongoing construction for, say, 5 to 10 to 15 plus years, well, there is a solid chance that the lot that you just had to have will be surrounded by banging and clanging of the new homes going up and being built all around you for years to come. So, for many, well, the constant sound of construction can be a bit much.
Will you stop making that noise?
Now, if your budget allows and you are up for it, there are certainly full custom builders across our valley and a number of truly incredible ones. But just be sure you really take a moment to consider both the timeline you will be working with and then just the magnitude of decisions that you will need to make going full custom. Just realized I forgot to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Mercy Ellison, a local real estate agent here in the Boise, Idaho area. And if this is your first time visiting our channel and you are looking to learn everything there is to know about living in Idaho, so what it's like to work, live, raise a family, run a business, just pretty much do all the things right here in the Gem State, then you're in the right place. Please tap that little subscribe button and or jot down our number so if and when the time comes for you to take that next step, you have our info ready to go. We get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you, and we love it. If you're thinking about moving to the Treasure Valley and you just don't know quite yet which city, let alone area or community, would be best for you, but you also aren't quite ready to take that leap to reach out and schedule a call, we have a fantastic and completely free, no strings attached relocation guide that you can download and peruse at your leisure. I will put the link to it in the description of this video. Next, let's talk about timeline. Just straight out. buying a resale home will typically mean a faster move-in process since the house is already built and ready to go. You can typically get into a resale home within 30 to 45 days. You won't be waiting for 6, 8, or 12 plus months for your home to be complete. So that alone, depending on your timeline, can be a huge benefit. If you're using lending to purchase, it will typically be in about that range, so about 30 to 45 days. And then if you are in a position to pay with cash, you could get into a home in as little as a couple of weeks, and actually even as little as 10 days, which might sound completely insane, but trust me, it's possible.
So fast.
So if that is the route you want to take, we can certainly make it happen. And then there are, of course, also pre-built spec homes. So new builds that are ready to go. And those you can close on in a similar amount of time. So typically similar to what you see with resale in about 30 to 45 days. Okay, so now let's talk about builder incentives. And this is an area that there seems to be a lot of confusion about. So I want to provide some clarity, but I also want to clearly state that depending on when you are watching this video, so whether that is in 2 months from now or 2 years from now, things very likely might have changed. Our market is fluid and ever-changing, and well, you better believe that builders react to the market as needed. So if you're curious about what we are seeing today, so on whatever day you're watching this, shoot us an email or a text, post a comment below, or give us a call, and we'd be happy to give you an up-to-the-minute update. Okay, so as of today, May 2024, we are seeing some strong builder incentives offered by builders, primarily in the more entry-level price points, such as CBH, Richmond American, and Hubble Homes. For example, not only has CBH responded to our softening market by dropping prices, they are also offering some pretty significant incentives to hopeful buyers. That said, we aren't seeing as many incentives currently being offered by builders in the mid to upper price developments. So builders in the $900K to $2 million arena. Additionally, many of these builders, so those at the higher price points, aren't accepting or even countering contingent offers. And then in addition, they have actually also seen several price increases over the past several months. So if you have your heart set on new construction, whether or not there will be any concessions to take advantage of will come down to your price point and the builder and the community that you select. On this note, we are also seeing many builders, in-house lenders offer some pretty big incentives. So this goes hand in hand with builders who have a significant amount of inventory and are motivated to get those homes sold. A number of the Treasure Valley's biggest builders have in-house lending teams such as Tresidio, Boise Hunter Homes, or Toll Brothers. Their in-house teams tend to be giving more favorable rates than what you will see across the rest of the market. That all said, I will say that those lenders who are not in-house lenders, so the ones that we typically work with traditionally, they are very likely to be able to come very, very close or sometimes even beat the offers and rates that these in-house lenders are offering. So certainly don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just yet. If you have a relationship with the lender outside of the builder's in-house mortgage group, know that you can very much still work with them. And well, competition isn't always a bad thing, right? So that all said, please just have it on your radar that many builders are currently offering some great incentives, such as interest rate buydowns. So let's say you have a rate of right around 7% right now. Your builder might very well have an incentive through their in-house lender to make your rate 4% for the first year, 5% for the second year, and then 6% for the third, which ideally and presumably by then interest rates will have changed and come down. You would be able to refinance. Anyhow, this is just one example of many. Others include offering help with things such as closing costs. So if you have your heart set on going the new build route and require financing, just be sure to explore whether the builder has in-house lenders and whether they are running any kind of powerful incentives. Because sometimes, in today's market anyhow, it can really make all the difference. So this next one pulls from various other topics we have already covered, namely price negotiation and customization options. One very important thing to keep in mind when comparing buying a resale pre-existing home to a new construction home, and specifically a semi-custom new construction home, are the options available at the design center. Let's say you came and toured homes all across the valley with us and that you decided, I don't know, that Dry Creek Ranch was the place for you. After walking through all of their gorgeous models, you absolutely just flip out over one floor plan in particular and are excited to move forward. And the base price looks like it will work for your budget. Now, the very first thing, well, one of the very first things anyhow, we would want to do would be to ensure that we know exactly how much was spent on those upgrades that were made to the base model home that you walked through and fell in love with. Because let me tell you, when it comes to model homes, the vast majority of them, and this is really true for almost all of our builders across all price points here, the vast majority have an incredible amount of upgrades that were made at the design center. I.e., you might go into it thinking you're going to be getting the model home that you walked into and just fell in love with for $1 million, when in actuality, that model home had $400,000 worth of upgrades added, which if you were to emulate would of course bring the price of your home from $1 million up to 1.4. That's definitely something we need to know about ahead of the game so you can go into it with the correct expectations and of course budget. On the flip side, if you are buying a resale pre-existing home, well, the agreed upon price is the agreed upon price, right? If anything, we could potentially be getting items fixed and upgraded after the inspection, which could potentially make the home and deal even better than what you initially agreed upon without costing you any more money. Or if you were buying a brand new build spec home, you wouldn't have to worry about any of this either because all the design selections with a spec home would have been made and factored into the home's price. So for this one, just know that we will be certain that you know exactly what you can expect so that come closing day, your reality really meets or ideally exceeds your expectation, and yeah, that your pocketbook is fully in order. Next up, let's not forget about energy efficiency. New homes are often built with the latest energy efficient technologies from insulation to appliances, which can save you money on utility bills in the long run. Resale homes, while they can be retrofitted with energy saving upgrades, well, they might not be as inherently effective as their newer counterparts. So for some, that can make a big difference. Now, let's quickly drive through some awesome new developments here around Boise, Meridian, and Eagle. These are areas that we have clients currently very excited about either building in or buying new homes in. Tucked into South Meridian, there are two top-of-mind new communities, Skybreak and Pinnacle. Both of these up and new coming communities offer a fantastic central place to call home. You can hop on I-84 from either and be in downtown Boise within about 15 minutes, or play a round of golf at the Boise Ranch Golf Course, or get your daily swim on at the YMCA. Both of these communities also have some incredible lots that offer some truly unique and just fantastic views. In Skybreak, there is the rim view at the Estates area, which is an exclusive gated neighborhood with custom bring your own builder home sites that people are currently building their dream homes on. With sweeping views of the Boise Front and Bogus Basin and the Boise Ranch Golf Course, these homes are really going to be spectacular. And then just about 5 minutes away from Skybreak, there's Pinnacle. And let me just show you a certain area of Pinnacle that I have flipped out over. There's a row of homes that back right up to the incredible 77-acre Discovery Park. Not only does Discovery have acres and acres of open, sprawling fields, they also have an awesome playground area, a splash pad and sand station, 6 pickleball courts, 2 tennis courts, 3 softball fields, a sand volleyball court, and a newly and already widely adored bike and skate park. And then there's also walking and jogging paths and just acres and acres of open green space. The way in which this row of gorgeous homes in Pinnacle are positioned, well, it's truly fantastic in that not only do they have incredible sunrise views of the Bogus Basin mountain range with no rear back neighbors or even the chance of ever having them because of the park's presence, but then many also have great upstairs sunset views of the Owyhees. And now let's move up just north of Eagle and Boise to highlight 3 incredible communities. Cartwright Ranch, which is Hidden Springs' sister community, Avamore, and Dry Creek Ranch. 2 great traits that all 3 of these communities share. Number 1, they all have incredible trail systems. Their miles and miles of hiking, biking, and jogging trails truly sets them apart. And then number 2, they are located not too far out, but yet far enough away from the hustle and bustle that you find mind living closer to the Boise metro area, and that distance really provides an incredibly peaceful and serene setting for residents. So while calling any of these communities home would mean that you would be a bit further out from all the busyness and just the general noise that city living brings with it, well, that distance offers a pretty unique and just unparalleled setting. And heck, you still aren't more than 15 to 20 minutes max from a large grocery store, restaurants, movie theaters, and all of that jazz. So those are just a few great new developments that we are currently helping our clients purchase in. If you would like to know anything more about any of them or any other new developments, because yep, there are a lot of them and certainly far too many for me to cover in this video, please post a comment below and or give us a call or send us a text or an email. We'd be happy to fill you in on everything there is to know. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching this, and I just hope you have a great rest of your day.